Earlier this year, I put together an irrigation system from Garden in Minutes. It was something that I purchased myself and wanted to test out in the garden. After seeing the video, the folks at Garden in Minutes reached out and said, hey, could we send you a bundle to test out in your garden? And I said, of course. So in this video, I'm going to be unboxing the garden bed and assembling the irrigation system. I haven't opened the box. I've never seen one before, so you're going to get my true first reaction. And even though I received it for free, as always, my opinions will be my own. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and welcome back to my meadow. I'm gardening in Zone 9A in Northeast Florida. I'm not an expert gardener, but I love showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and embracing the imperfection that learning to garden has to offer. How Garden in Minutes is different from some of the other brands is that they offer a rectangular design. And with that rectangular design, they're able to fit in an irrigation system that fits almost the perimeter with a square foot garden grid that's available. It is made from a high quality metal from what they say, and they claim on the box that it's 30 minutes or less. I've done solo builds before. I'm still not sure I believe it's 30 minutes or less, but I have brought my special tools that I use when I'm doing a solo build to make it easier. One, I've got cups to separate the fasteners. I've got my own electric screwdriver, electric drill, and clamps. Clamps are a great way to hold the panels together vertically while I'm trying to get everything screwed in, and it makes my life a whole lot easier. So, this is the 17-in-1 metal raised garden bed, 17 possible configurations. I am going to assemble this in a 4x8 configuration. Food safe materials. It's designed to fit their garden grid watering systems, and I believe their garden grid watering systems came first before the raised beds. They added these on because of demand. This box is going to have corner panels, side panels, a hardware set, which is a screw, washer, and acorn nut. That's interesting. The other brands don't use an acorn nut at every placement. It's going to have a safety edging, connector rods, and it even includes the screwdriver and the wrench. I'm going to use my own, though, for that. And they have lots of different configurations. Again, this is going to be the 4x8. Let's start assembling. First, we got to open the box up here. Good morning. In the box, we have the corner pieces, side panels, end panels, and more corner pieces, and I'm sure along with some hardware. This is a 17-inch tall bed. And check out all the different configurations. Well, that's a lot of different shapes. I, of course, like to take advantage of the space I have. I really don't want anything much bigger than 4 feet across because I simply can't reach to the middle for those. I like being able to reach all the way in, but lots of choices depending on what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to fit it in. First thing I want to do is go ahead and separate out my hardware. I just wanted to make sure I had it right here. I'm assembling the GIM1. We called it a 4x8, but technically, according to this dimension, it's 47 inches by 89 inches, which isn't quite 8 feet long. So we're going to get going laying these panels out and putting them together. And my other secret weapon is having a raised surface to work on. For me, that makes life so much easier. These panels, just like some of the other brands, they do have plastic sheeting on them. And I'm going to pull that back so I can reveal the screw holes. Ooh, Their sticky plastic is harder to pull off. This is something you only have to do once, but can't be 30 minutes if it takes this long to take just the plastic off. Huh. I think I'm going to speed this up for you while I'll finish getting these unwrapped. All right, so I need a 2 and a 1.5. I have discovered from putting together a variety of beds that if I'll put the top one in and then line up the bottom one, it makes the rest of the assembly much smoother. This is a 17-inch bed. It only has 4 screws in it. 2 in the center and 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom. I did not notice if it said that the hardware was all stainless steel, so we will keep an eye on that over time. There's one end. Now let's do the sides. So for the sides, it's a 2 foot, a 1.5 foot, a 1.5 foot, and a 2 foot. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 1/2s together here, 1.5s. And this is going to get the corner. One of the things that I have learned in doing this, and I think it's really important always to mention, is you want the corners on the outside. That way any pressure from the filling, from the growing, is pressing into the corner. If you do it this way, then you have this situation. But if you do it this way, you're pressing into the corner and it gives you a sturdier build. I did not pull some of this paper back quite far enough. If you're wondering why I moved to the corner instead of assembling the whole side, it's so that this can help hold itself up when I get ready to put the other pieces together. Did I do this side already? No, I did not. Oh, I forgot to do the other 2 screws here. So funny. All right, this end is done. I have my clamps and I haven't used them yet. That's so funny. Let's try this. There we go. That's what I should have been doing the first time. They really do make it easier if you remember to use them. Though somehow I think the order that I did the sides this time made it a little easier than the last time I did a bed like this. Oops. Now we just got to connect the 2 ends together with the center pieces. Let's see how we're going to do that. What do you say? That's what I was afraid of. This is not quite wide enough. Okay. Change of plans. We're going to finish assembling these on the ground. Now the braces are two different lengths, so you want to make sure you are putting a short and a long together so that you end up with two equal length braces. And they have this little threaded rod here that goes between them. They go into the second hole here of the support of the side of the bed, and then it does take a washer, and we just do this. Ta-da! And the second one also goes right over here. And that, my friends, is a garden in minutes raised garden bed, 17 inches, assembled to a 4x8 configuration, not quite 4x8. Support bars in the middle, 4 screws down each side, rectangular in the corner. Oh, I do see one thing that I haven't done yet, but I'm going to wait for a warmer day to do that. I do need to add on this edging, and I know that around these corners I'm going to have to warm it up in order to get that to go around easily. I need to put together the irrigation system, so let's get it out of the box and let me show you how it's done. I came up here to the concrete driveway so I wouldn't get any dirt or sand into the garden in minutes. And it's a cooler day today, so if the things don't go together easily, you could always use a little bit of warm water to make the parts go together, because with these barbs, they're really designed to fit tight and fit once and fit forever. In the kit it shows you there's an A, there are 2 B's, and there is a C. And the water feed tube connects to the C, and there could be a riser in here as well. And so I'm going to find A, B, B, and C and just clamp them all together. The manifold lets me connect here, and then I can hook multiple beds together if I want to. And this part here just connects on the riser. Now, all that's left for this would be to hook it up to the hose and lay it on top of the garden bed. And hopefully you can see that each of the squares have 16 holes in them, and it gives you equal watering across the entire grid. This is super handy if you're growing something where the entire bed has equal watering requirements, because you can water equally across the entire thing. And that took less than 5 minutes to set up your drip irrigation. Now that we're done with both of the parts, let's sit down and talk about it. 47 inches, not quite 4 feet. So it's 7 foot 5 inches by 47 inches. So now that I've had time to think about it, get it all put together, I want to share with you some of my first thoughts. First off, and all of the companies claim that it's a super fast assembly, but in reality it took more than 30 minutes. It probably took me 30 minutes just to peel back the plastic. But the assembly was quite easy. Now, I've done this a number of times. This is probably the 15th or 16th raised metal garden bed that I've put together, and so it went just as smoothly as I expected, with just 4 screws in the side of each panel. And that made the assembly a little faster. For me, I love working on a elevated surface. I did have to break that down because this is a 4-foot wide bed, or 47 inches, almost 4 feet wide bed, and so I had to rearrange sort of my assembly area in order to get the job finished. Overall, it is comparable with the other garden beds that I have assembled here in the garden, and I would say that it is better than a couple of the garden beds that I have seen at Mom's. In Mom's garden, we have a few of the cheaper beds that came from Amazon. It's what she wanted. The thickness on these panels is very comparable with all the other beds I have in the garden, and definitely way thicker than some of the flimsy or cheap bed. It is not a flimsy metal at all. The hardest part for me of the entire thing was getting that plastic off. I would say that the plastic on this bed was harder than any of the others, but that's not really a good judge of the bed. At the same time, it was packaged well. None of the panels were damaged. None of the panels were scratched. Everything came in a very compact box, and it shipped really well to me. And it's not quite 4 by 8. It's technically 47 inches by 7 foot 5 inches. So if you absolutely have to have something that's 4 by 8, this is going to fall short by just a few inches. The real advantage of the Garden in Minutes bed is that you get that rectangular end, so you do get a little more growing space in the corners, unlike some of the brands that have the curved sides. And when you buy the complete bundle, you get a garden bed and your drip irrigation system, and all you need to do is fill it with soil, plant your plants, and plug in a hose. You don't have to look for other kinds of watering systems. You don't have to build your own drip irrigation system. You don't have to buy a kit. You don't need to set up sprinklers. You are just ready to go right out of the box. So if you're someone who really you want to build it and go, this might be a great choice for you. Unlike some of the other beds, there is not a screw in every rib, but that does not seem to affect the sturdiness of the bed. In fact, it feels pretty sturdy just like it is, and I've seen some other beds assembled this way where you don't use a screw in every rib. I don't think that's going to affect the long-term ability of the bed to hold up and perform. The braces are very similar to braces I've seen on other beds, and because it's a shorter bed, I don't anticipate that even if I use logs on the bottom that we're going to get that sort of drop that we've seen in other beds with the little bracing on the center. So I look forward to seeing how well that holds up in the garden. Now, all that's left for me to do is to get it installed, plant it out, and start growing some food in minutes. Let's talk about the irrigation system. That was really easy to put together. I went out on the driveway. It's a little cooler today. If I'd had some warm water, it would have been even faster to put the pieces together, but it just literally takes minutes to put those pieces together. If you are someone who has a different kind of a garden bed, you can even order that garden grid and order the right height riser for you depending on the height of your bed. They also make custom length hoses. So you saw that the manifold came with it, but you could, if you had a bed here and a bed 8 feet over, you could buy an 8-foot hose to connect the two beds together so that you don't have to worry about additional plumbing, and they do provide all of those together. I do like that it's sort of a one-stop shop for the garden bed and the irrigation. I think that's a real plus, especially if you're a ready to get up and go kind of person. So what did I not cover? What else do you need to know? What other questions do you have about the Garden in Minutes system? Please put them in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. I do like this system. I am an affiliate for Garden in Minutes. They did send me this bed for free, but what I am telling you is my true opinion about the bed. It is a quality product, it is quality metal, and the way we know if it's really, really good is going to be over time. We're going to keep an eye on the hardware because nowhere on the package did it say that there were stainless steel. We're also going to keep an eye on the panels themselves, make sure that they're not rusting, but all of those just take time to see, just like the other beds that I have here in the garden. Time will tell, and I promise you we will continue to do updates on the Garden in Minutes bed, and I will let you know if anything changes or I have any concerns about the garden bed itself. If you'd like to see my very first Garden in Minutes video where I purchased and installed an irrigation system from them, you can check out this video right over here. And until next time, my friends, remember to drink plenty of water, wear that high quality sunscreen, and as always, have a fantastic day.